Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nemesis Gaming League, where the grind continues. We are back for another night of Season 7 playoffs. Yes, sir. Super happy about it. We're going to be starting in the Challenger League. Your boy Psychonautic in the booth, bringing that action to you. And I'm joined by the one and only Puggles from Vipers. How you doing tonight, Puggles? It's good to see you.
I'm doing pretty good. A little tired, but you know what? We power through.
I feel that. It was a long trip for you to get back from RLCS Worlds, but I hope it was worth it, my man. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look real quick at the playoff bracket we got in the Challenger League tonight. To start us off, we've got the number 1 Ascension going up against the number 8 Drakes. Drakes making a great play-in run to make it into the playoffs, but they have to face off against the number 1 Rocker Man's Ascension team with Jaegers and Merely. Puggles, I think this is going to be either Ascension slapping them or a really good match.
Yeah, frankly, I'll have to agree, but just to put a little bit of history to this, these two teams did play at the beginning of the season, the very first game, and that is where Ascension took it from Drakes 3-2. So it has been close here at the beginning of the season, but I do believe teams may have been a little different, and everyone was still trying to find their stride of what kind of team they're going to be in this Challenger League.
And to add just a little bit of lore to that, both of these teams are making their 6th playoff appearance here in the Nemesis Gaming League. These two teams historically have been going at each other here in the playoffs for most of the life of Nemesis, and this is just adding another brick to that tablet, if you will, another signature down at the bottom of this historical matchup between these two teams. And Puggles, let me go ahead and get your caster prediction, because it looks like most everybody's ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Ascensions. I'm gonna have to back the higher seeded team. Ascensions, they're 15-1 for a reason. The number 1 seed in this Challenger playoffs. So I just gotta go with the 15-1 over the Drakes here.
I feel you. Ascension looking very solid, and I'll be pretty surprised if they don't put a hurting on it. Rocker Man coming out early with the F-150, starting things off for Ascension.
Yeah, Rocker Man able to beat apparently Rai and Zuleta, just a little awkward there on the way back, and Rocker Man, he has an open net to shoot on, and he doesn't miss those, Psycho.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't, especially when he's in the F-150. The man peaks in the F-150. But Jaegers with the 50, sends it back. This could be dangerous. Apparently Rai not able to get his touch. Merely going to take that one away from him. Merely sticking with it, coming off the sidewall. A little bit of a miscommunication comes out, but Jaeger's going to barrel through. Zuleta to take that ball away from him. Rai missing his touch. Rocker Man beating Daydreams. This could be something. Merely's there. He hits the post instead. Jaegers keeping the pressure alive. Rocker Man missing his touch in the midfield. Jaeger's going to make a quick turn to send the ball into the Drake's corner. Popping it up. Merely is up to make a touch. He's awkward. Can't get what he's looking for. And Rai going to clear that one away. Jaegers making a touch in the midfield. And so far, Puggles, it's pretty much Ascension dominating. I haven't seen Drakes barely do much of anything. As I say that, the caster curse comes out. Zuleta gonna tie things up.
And this all gets set up by Daydreams. This Daydreams gets a huge dunk off Rocker Man's first touch there. He tries to put it to safety. Not gonna work. And Zuleta, he is probably the most open net that I've ever seen this Ascension's team give up. They tie it up here pretty early on.
Zuleta, a returning player, not for the Drakes, but in Nemesis. He's been here for a few seasons. I want to say at least 3 or 4, maybe even longer. Shining through. He's well known in the Challenger League. He's got a lot of potential. Apparently, Rai sends it over. I'm not even sure what happened. It just looks like they got caught lacking.
Yeah, it looks like Merely and Jaegers both expected Rocker Man to get at least a touch onto that ball, but instead, a little bit of a miscommunication as Rocker Man opting to go just for the boost and leaving the ball for his two teammates. who unfortunately were in the same spot. So a huge capitalization from apparently Rye.
Drake's gonna take the lead. Jaeger's trying to clap back, but can't do it. It's gonna hit the crossbar and bounce out. Rockerman sends it back towards the net, but it's over. Jaeger's missing his touch. Merely's there, but Zuleta gonna beat him out and try and stop the offensive pressure. Rockerman still with it. Apparently Rye to take it away. Merely dunks on him off the backboard. Jaegers is there, and he hit the gym. He's gonna muscle that one through.
Yeah, great dunk here though from Merely to set it all up, and Zuleta just caught in a bit of an awkward position, and Jaegers able to take the ball right from him. Huge tie up here from Jaegers and Ascension.
And a little over 3 minutes left on the clock. Plenty of time for some Rocket League to happen. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Daydreams finding an opening. Nobody back. Daydreams gonna once again take the lead for Drakes.
Daydreams able to just take it right away from Jaegers. This was a bit awkward there. And Merely, he tried his best to get back, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough to keep the ball out of the net.
Too little too late right there, but still plenty of time on the clock. Ascension should easily be able to make a comeback here and at least tie things up. Daydreams in the mid. Jaegers to take it away from him. Rye with the block. Rockerman looking to slow things down. Gets the flick off the backboard, but apparently Rye sends it away. Rye going to stick with it in the midfield. Gets it past one up to Zuleta. Zuleta trying to pass it around, but Rye not going to be able to stick with it. Daydreams putting a shot on. Merely with the stop. As we reach the halfway point here in game number 1, things certainly turned around, Puggles, for the Drakes. They looked like they were getting dominated in the very beginning of this game, but then they turned it around and now seem to be doing the most.
Yeah, they really are. They're really dominating, but woo! And that's why Ascension's number 1. They're a huge team. Passing play is merely able to just dime up Jaegers, and Jaegers a huge half volley to the top right. Zuleta, no way he's reading that huge passing play to equalize for Ascension.
Yeah, beautifully placed shot from Jaegers there, just out of the reach of Zuleta. You love to see the accurate shooting that a lot of challengers get. Sometimes we get it down in the novice and the prospect league, but challengers really kind of started where they start to zone in, if you will, or dial in that accuracy, as we just saw from Jaegers. Zuleta with the clear out. Zuleta to stick with it, gets a pop. Jaegers makes the stop. Daydreams trying to take it away from him, but Jaegers gonna stick with it. Merely missing the touch. Rockerman is there. He's got the F-150 sending it down, but he's not gonna be able to do anything but get a bump as Jaeger's gonna come in to a cleared lane and take a powerful shot.
Yeah, Jaegers able to find the accuracy and the power here once again. Rockerman, you gotta give him some credit, clearing out Daydreams, even though in my opinion I don't think he was gonna do much there. And Zuleta, the last one there in the net, not able to make a touch, and huge bounce back from Ascension.
Rockerman almost sending another to the top right corner, but it hits bar and bounces out. Rockerman can't make his touch out of the corner. Daydreams there, missing his touch. Apparently Rye, not expecting the miss to come out, doesn't get a good touch on the ball, and it does get cleared out. Rockerman taking another shot that's going to hit post. The ball sent back down to Ascension's defensive zone. Daydreams on the ball. Gets it past Jaegers, going to stick with it. Trying to find one through Rockerman. Rockerman to Merely for the pop clear. Now 60 seconds left, Puggles. And this has been a very back and forth game. Drake's now down by 1, even though they've been up by 1 twice so far. Do they pull it back here, Puggles?
You know, I think the momentum's just going Ascension's way, as merely, as you were asking me this, Rockerman setting up merely for another great goal, and they go up 2. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Drakes to come back here, Psycho.
Yeah, much more difficult with 43 seconds left on the clock. You can definitely score 2 goals in that time. You can score 6 goals in that time or more if you're just absolutely popping off or getting incredibly lucky. But I don't think that's going to happen here for the Drakes, as Rockerman and the rest of the Ascension roster are looking to close out game number 1 in this best of 7 series. Loser to go home into their season and the winner moves on to the next round. Apparently, Rye going to stick with it. Up over one in the midfield. The final 10 seconds. Drake's just looking to get one for the road at this point. Daydreams, 50s with Jaegers. Rye to follow, but merely takes it away. The ball just has to touch the ground. And Ascension, looking to get one for the road? No, but they are going to take game number 1 in this best of 7 series. You know they got to feel good about that one, Puggles, getting the early lead and setting the pace for this long series.
Yeah, but Drake's, they had it within them the entire time. They just really lost it there at the last minute where they gave up that 5th goal to Ascension. But it looks like Drake's, they're going to be pulling in the sub card as I wasn't able to talk about here at the beginning. Daydreams, he is the sub for this Drake's roster. Going to be interesting to see who they take out and who they're being replaced with. I can only assume that it is going to be Geo, but you know, sometimes we get a nice surprise, don't we?
Yeah, sometimes I think the surprises are a little bit more frowned on in the playoff settings, but you know, hey, sometimes things happen and real life comes first. Essentially, this is just a video game and we're just a community, but we try and give the best Rocket League content that we possibly can. We try and bring the fire. Zuleta actually the one leaving the match. So I don't know, Puggles. Interested to see what happens right now.
Yeah, and Zuleta, he was having some internet issues there, but it is going to be Geo replacing Zuleta here as we move into this. So for Drake's, everyone keeping score at home, it is apparently Rai, Geo, and Daydreams. So we just got to wait for all these players to ready up, as I do believe they're all in the lobby.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I saw Geo join right there at the end, and there we go. Now we're going to get him on the pitch. We're going to get all 6 of these boys ready to go, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 2. Ascension up by 1. Drake's looking to make a comeback here. Jaeger's going to pinch that one, try and follow. Doesn't get the touch he's looking for off the backboard, merely going to whiff past it. Geo gets the touch. Looking to follow it. Jaegers gets the doink, though. Looking for Rocker, man. He makes the block on the shot, merely trying to get the clear out with the ground pinch. It's a little bit awkward, but he does get a flick over one Jaegers to block the Drakes from pushing into Ascension's half. But Daydreams is sticking with it. Rocker, man, takes it away from him. Jaegers is there. Gets a big touch to the center. Geo's with it. Getting the dribble, but merely just going to wait for him to drop that one. And we're seeing a pretty different game so far, in my opinion, Puggles. A lot of back and forth in the midfield. Not a lot of, actually, literally 0 shots so far.
Yeah, this game is, seems that both teams have figured out what their defense is going to be for the rest of the series, as we get a little bit of pressure here and there from both teams, but it's able to be quickly saved or cleared away. But so far in this game, Ascension, they've had the most pressure as they're just starting to lock down Drakes onto their own half.
Which is exactly what they need to do. They already saw in the last game, Rocker, man, with the shot. Putting it in the net, taking the lead for Ascension.
Yeah, and Jaegers, a huge pass out mid off the sidewall. Daydreams, he was looking to try and beat Rockerman to the ball, but unfortunately not able to win it outright. And Rockerman, he gets the first strike here in game 2, a very pivotal game for this series.
And Ascension definitely not out of the woods yet. As we saw in game number 1, this Drake's roster, once they find that groove, once they get going, they can really gear up and put some numbers on the board. So Ascension gonna need to be careful, and I'm sure they're looking for an early insurance goal if they can just tack it down and keep the pace in their favor. The Drakes, looks like they're starting to get a little bit more aggressive. Rocker, man, not able to get a good shot off of the pass from Merely in the midfield. Daydreams completely whiffing the ball as it pops up. Merely puts a heater on net, and Geo not able to make the stop.
Yeah, Geo just in a really unfortunate position as he was really hoping that Daydreams was going to make the save, and Geo, again, he just jumps a little past the ball, but, you know, that's definitely a savable ball, but Geo just had to make do with what he had.
And that is unfortunately what we all got to do. Sometimes it works out for us, sometimes it doesn't. Drake's now down by 2 with under 3 minutes left on the clock. Will they be able to make a comeback here, or will Ascension secure the second win? Apparently, Rai finding a really nice pass from Gio.
Yeah, Gio able to get up early after this backboard clear and send it right to Rai, and Rai able to put it right around merely. A huge pass, and now they're only down by 1, and they have more than enough time to tie this game up.
Plenty of time. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they take the lead away from Ascension as they did in game number 1 with how much time is left. But we will see, can Ascension hold strong defensively and hold this lead against Drakes, or will they gear things up and tie things up, if not take the lead away from Ascension? Daydreams off the backboard. Jaegers is there. Jaegers looking for a second touch, can't get it out of the corner. The ball gets doinked up to the mid, merely putting a shot just over. Gio's gonna make the touch. Gio with a boomer. Jaegers back. Rockerman putting it up. Jaegers there, not able to get what he's looking for though. Merely sticking with it, gets it past Gio. Jaegers and Merely both there. Rockerman's up, coming down with the shot. Apparently Rai to make the stop. And apparently might have a counterattack here. Sends it out to the mid, but it gets cleared away. All the way back into Drake's zone. Ascension Jaegers, or Ascension Puggles, excuse me. I calling everybody Jaegers now that I've met him. I'm literally calling everybody Jaegers. I was calling bagels Jaegers on Monday, Puggles. What is wrong?
Oh, it's all good. But yeah, that counterattack that Drake's just had was a huge opportunity for them, and they just couldn't capitalize on it, as all 3 Ascension players were pushed upfield trying to get that goal. All 3 in the net at one point, as Rai was in the midfield, and unfortunately they just couldn't quite put it on target, and now that may just cost them here in this game if they can't find another opportunity soon.
Oh, Jaegers with a shot, but Daydreams makes a great stop right there as we enter the final 60 seconds of game number 2 with Ascension still up by 1. Gio missing his touch off of the sidewall. Jaegers trying to 50 it through. It goes in favor of the Drakes. One of Ascension back in time to make the stop. Push it back over the midline. Gio missing his touch apparently. Rai gonna be a little bit slow. Let Rockerman get up on the ball. Jaegers with the 50. It gets immediately cleared out. 30 seconds remaining for Drakes to come back and tie this game up. Game number 2. They don't want to drop this to this Ascension roster, as they might be able to run away with it, get a third, maybe even a sweep. Jaegers with a big shot, but Gio making the stop. We enter the final 10 seconds. Drake's looking for that final goal. Will they be able to make it, or will Ascension hold out as Jaegers clears it down, trying to waste time off of the clock? Gio puts it up. The ball can't touch the ground now. Gio trying to get it through the corner. Rockerman to put it down. Ascension, your winners of game number 2.
Yeah, and that was a big game too, as Ascension, they're going to take a 2-0 lead in the series. This is a best of 7, so they still need to win 2 more, but Drakes, they're in a pretty dire spot right now, as, you know, that game was probably the most important if they won it, and then just the following game to get that series lead was maybe even more, but as of right now, they need to get 2 in a row, and I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to take their time out, but it doesn't look like they're going to use it here, Psycho.
Yeah, which is a little bit weird. I'm not gonna lie, letting Ascension go up by 2 like that, not taking a little bit of a timeout, getting a reset, maybe going over some things that are going wrong for the Drakes. Which, to be honest with you, Puggles, and maybe your opinion will differ with me here, I don't feel like the Drakes are playing that bad. It's just that once Ascension starts their onslaught, that is, Daydreams gonna start things off for the Drakes.
Yeah, this is a big goal here, as Daydreams able to get the first one for his team and the first goal of game 3. This is a huge lead, and right now Drakes, they need to hold it, or else they may just lose yet another game.
Yeah, they need to, because that's what I was bringing up, is that we've seen throughout this entire series Gio looking for that double, and apparently gonna bounce it off the teammate's car. An unfortunate turn of events. Drake's almost able to secure the second goal in quick succession, but I was basically what I was trying to say. Wow, I'm stumbling over my words here, Puggles. Is Gio almost gonna send that one in, but he's not able to. But yeah, Ascension, if Drake's lets them start to sustain their pressure, then they become unstoppable. But if Drake's can just keep them in the midfield or in their own defensive zone, then I think that's going to be the ticket for Drake's to shut down Ascension here, Puggles.
Yeah, I definitely agree. As you know, the Drake's pressure has been really well, and they have been playing just as well as Ascension, but it's just the few mistakes and a few overcommits as merely he's gonna put in a huge goal here on a bit of a team overcommit.
Yeah, Rye, I think might have been able to get back to that, but merely with the heads-up play, getting the demo as he tried to rotate back, leaving himself with an easy shot. Now Ascension tying things up. Only a minute gone so far from this game, and it's starting to heat up. It's starting to look like what we saw in game number 1, just the back-and-forth onslaught of offensive pressure from both of these teams, as opposed to game number 2, which seemed to be played more so in the midfield until a little bit later on. Merely with the touch, can't make the stop. Gio trying to get it out to Rye. Rye looking for a demo instead of a pass. It's going to turn into a clear from Ascension. Jaeger's trying to fake out as Merely comes in, puts it, tries to get it in front of the net, but Gio not going to let it stay. Gio and having a 50 beats out the defender with the double commit coming out from the Drakes. Not going to work out for Ascension. Apparently, Rye putting it off the backboard, Merely there, makes the doink, daydreams with the shot, doesn't go. Rye finding the upper left-hand corner and finding the back of the net.
Yeah, merely on the defense with that touch, maybe not what his team was looking for, as I think Rockerman coming from the other side would have had a better chance of a huge clear, but unfortunately the ball is just going to bounce right out to apparently Rye, and Rye able to put his team up 1 after a bit of a dubious past minute here.
Yeah, beautifully placed shot from Rye there. Couldn't have been placed better. Merely almost with the snipe, but apparently gets in front of it to make a good stop against the post. Gio getting in the fray. Merely's up, but gets beat out by Rye. Rockerman getting beat by Gio in the midfield. Jaeger's pre-jumping, gets the touch off the backboard, sticking with it, trying to get it cleared out of Ascension's zone, but apparently Rye to take it away from him, missing his touch in the corner. As we get down closer and closer to the final 2 minutes here, Drake still up by 1, Puggles. I think this is the longest that they've held a lead in this series.
You know what? Personally, I'd have to agree. As game 1, they've had multiple leads, but they didn't have them for very long. And merely, as we're talking about the lead here for Drake's, he's just going to take it away in a huge tie as he just sinks that shot right in the middle of the net.
In the NASCAR car, no less. I didn't know Merely was a NASCAR fan.
I think it's new. I thought it came out like literally today.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Merely is a NASCAR fan, and he's apparently doing pretty good in it. I gotta say, been playing pretty well.
You think about getting the NASCAR now?
I'm not thinking about getting the NASCAR. I live in Texas, and I have to hear about NASCAR 7 months out of the year.
Fair enough.
I'm good on it. Well, I guess we should be talking about NASCAR. We should be talking about Daydreams. What just happened?
I don't think we need to talk about Daydreams here, Psycho. I think we need to talk about the only Rockerman as he comes off the back wall, an insane angle on his own net. So really not what you like to see there, but they're down 1 once again, but they've proved so many times that they can come back here as Jaeger's looking to do just that, not able to finish it, and merely deciding to hold off there in the midfield.
Jaeger's with almost able to pull off the doomsy there. Just narrowly missing it, but the Drakes are still leading this game. Almost down to the final 60 seconds. Drakes might be looking to extend that lead a little bit, but Jaeger's to get back. Jaeger's with an awkward touch, getting it past 1. Rockerman to help him out off of the backboard. Daydreams is going to send it away. Merely with the catch. Merely too awkward to get with it. Rockerman also catching it, helping his teammate out. Rockerman sticking with it, but can't 50 through. Geo is apparently going to take Jaegers out in the midfield and shut down any offense Ascension was hoping for off of that run. Jaeger's going to come off of the demo, get a shot, but not put it through the defense. Daydreams with the pop. Merely's up. Rockerman helping to clear this one out. Merely in the midfield. Rockerman following into the Drake's corner, but apparently Rye to take it away from him. 30 seconds left on the clock. Drake's still leading by 1. Ascension looking to do anything that they can to get this 3rd win in the series, but Drake's just not allowing anything to come from Ascension. Final 10 seconds wind down. Rockerman in the midfield gets a dribble past 1, looking to control it, pops it up off the backboard. Merely's there, he puts it in. 2 seconds left on the clock, and we got a tied ball game.
Rockerman, a huge dribble past all 3 as Daydreams, the last one there, in an awkward position trying to get the best touch he can, and unfortunately, he doesn't get any touch, and now Merely, he got another goal. He got the hat trick, all 3 goals going to him, and the ball just needs to touch the ground as we will go into the very first overtime, but the ball very dangerous as they finally got it down. Ascension taking a quick breath or sigh of relief there. Oh no.
And Rockerman not able to convert. Jaeger's missing as well. Merely coming in to clean up. Can't get it through the defense. Geo sending it down. Merely pops it up in the midfield. Jaegers is there. Doesn't get the touch though. Looking, I think he was expecting Daydreams to beat him to it. But both of them missed. Rockerman sending it back into his own corner. Rockerman out to Jaegers. Jaegers sends it down. Daydreams out of the corner. Pops it up high. Merely's there. So is apparently Rye. Securing a save and a savior medal. Rye been doing a lot of work in the defensive zone for the Drakes in game number 3. Rockerman out of the corner. Geo sends it away. Merely putting a shot on it. It's going to hit the post. But apparently taking it up the wall. Missing the button, missing his touch. But Merely going to 50 with Daydreams as we reach our first minute of overtime here, Puggles. Can't really tell if either of these teams have an advantage at this point.
Yeah, and in my opinion here, this overtime should already be over. I think Rockman, he had the best look of this overtime right off the kickoff. Just couldn't put it into the net. Right, like, you really got to capitalize on those. And if Drakes win this, that's got to be in the back of the mind of Rockerman, thinking we could have won this here just at the beginning.
Oh, I'm sure it certainly will be if the Drakes are able to close out this overtime. And that's a big if, as Ascension is just a brick wall on the defensive end of things right at this moment. Geo getting the control, gets blammed away, but gets the pass. Rye can't find the touch. Rockerman trying to take it slow. Merely with it. Gets a touch up to Jaegers to doink, keep it moving. The ball gets sent all the way back. Ascension is going to clear it out back to the Drakes. 2 minutes now so far, and just not a lot of Rocket League happening, Puggles. This is honestly, I don't think we've seen these two teams play before.
Yeah, it's definitely much slower, looking more like game 2, as both teams not wanting to give up any free goals and playing super defensive. But we also have seen that Drakes, they're whipping out a few more demos. I've noticed that the red cars have been getting demoed a lot in this overtime, with at least 3 times across the board. So I'm going to be very interested to see if that's going to open up spots for Drakes to capitalize on, or if that's going to lead to a huge overcommit.
Essentially, it should. Rockerman pulling out a demo of his own. Enough demos come out, eventually one of them's going to work. Daydreams there to make the save. Jaegers missing his touch. Daydreams staying patient, staying with it. Apparently Rye comes in, but they can't 50 it through the Ascension defender in the midfield. Merely with the shot over Daydreams. He's going to get the touch, and it bounces off of the crossbar. Oh my goodness. Puggles, what a save from Daydreams. He's been missing a lot of saves so far, and it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Rockerman going to slam it in, finish it with the F-150. Ascension now up by 3 in the series, sitting at match point.
Yeah, Daydreams, a huge save there just a few seconds ago, but unfortunately it's not going to matter as his teammate couldn't help him out and clear the ball. And then just the passing play over to Rockerman at the end, able to clean it up. And Ascension, they take the 3-game lead. Drakes, they do have an overtime. At this point, I'm considering if they even know that, because yet again, they're already up, ready to go. So personally, I think we're just waiting on the Ascension players to get going. But Drake's 3-0 down. They need a reverse sweep. I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah, they got to start with, not letting Ascension take the lead away from them when they have the lead through pretty much the entire game. But you bring up the timeout again, and they aren't using it. But I've heard some teams talk about they don't like to use the timeouts because while it might knock the other team out of a groove, it also has the chance of knocking your own team out of its groove. So I think that the Drakes are just kind of are looking at it like that, Puggles. I think they're might even be a little bit afraid to take a timeout. It might give Ascension a little bit of a buff.
Yeah, that's definitely true. As these teams, they definitely have different mentals, but obviously, if I was in the position that these Drakes players are in, I would definitely be calling for it. As Ascension already getting some early offense and almost able to find the back of the net, but yet again being stifled away by the Drakes defense.
Yeah, Drake's doing a good job so far on defense, but they need to get out of their zone. They cannot, as we know from game 1 and a little bit of game 2, we know that you can't let Ascension start to generate offensive pressure because they are just going to keep shooting and shooting and shooting. These 3 guys' rotations are very honed in as they've been playing this exact same roster literally every single series this season. I think actually Rockerman might have missed a game somewhere down the line. They might have all missed a game, but mostly they've been going together, but it doesn't matter as Gio's going to come in, start things off for the Drakes here.
Yes, once again, Drakes, they're getting the first goal, but like we saw in the past game, it really doesn't matter sometimes as Ascension, they're able to get their offense rumbling, and there's really no stopping the Ascensions, at least from Drakes, so far we've seen, but it's going to be difficult here to hold on to this, and we need to see a little bit more offense from Drakes in order to really convince me that they're going to be able to take this series far.
Yeah, especially having to reverse sweep. A game 7 reverse sweep is one of the hardest things to pull off in Rocket League, probably in general, in most sports that do best of 7s. But hey, you got to start somewhere. Drake started with a goal, and now they just got to hold this lead and move forward one step at a time as Ascension's going to bang that one on from midfield. Rockerman taking the long ball.
Yeah, a huge shot here from Rockman going right over Daydreams and the rest of the Drake's defense as they're caught a little bit too far forward, and Rockerman able to punish a bit of an overcommit there.
Yeah, Daydream's not having the greatest defensive night. He got that amazing save in that overtime in game number 3, but there's been many times where he was just pushed out a little bit too far or doesn't quite stop at the back post, gets beat out by the shooter. I'm sure Daydream's going to be looking to work on his defense in the offseason, assuming that the Drakes go home here and are not able to pull it back, though they are not out of this game yet by any means with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. We still got a tie ball game in game number 4. However, Ascension is sitting at match point in the series. They are 3-0 right now, so they only need to take home this dub here in the Coliseum, and they will be moving forward in the playoff bracket. Daydreams with the touch, sends it across, but no Drake there to find a pass. And Rockerman coming off the corner, can't get the second touch. Gio to take it away from him. Apparently right in the midfield. Gio getting bumped and then immediately demoed by Jaegers. But apparently Rye taking the ball away from Jaegers, keeping it away from him, getting the pass to Gio. Gio makes the cut, but Rockerman, solid defense, ready for the shot. Jaegers Gonna send it out. Rockerman helping him move it down the field. Rockerman out of the corner with the bump. And can he get it? Merely's there, but he can't get it through the defense. Apparently, Rice staying strong and keeping that ball out of the Drake's net. Gio getting a one as well as Merely gonna style on him. Take the lead with a double.
Yeah, a huge double touch from Merely. He had the entire net open the first time, but he wanted a style on this Drake's defense as nobody was in the net after that first attempt. And Merely a huge goal here, putting Ascension up in possibly the last game.
Yeah, Merely well known for having a good accuracy on his doubles. You cannot let that man follow a ball like that. He's going to put it in 90% of the time, guaranteed. As we've seen, that was, I think, the first one that he hit this series, but he's hit one. I wouldn't be surprised, Puggles, to find out that he hits one pretty much every series.
Yeah, with the way that he made that look, I wouldn't be surprised if he does that every game sometimes. And
Whoa!
throwing it off the corner, Ascension, they're starting to run away with it here as we need to see the Drakes get some sort of composure back as all three of them in the corner.
Yeah, they have to find the muster that they have at the beginning of every single one of these games. It's like they come out firing on all cylinders, and they get halfway through the game, and they just don't have the energy to keep it up. Ascension just having that amount of go merely is just popping off right now, secures the bag, secures the hat trick.
Yeah, the hat trick indeed, and really he's going off right now in the new NASCAR Camry, as you love to see it if you're Ascension's fan, and you maybe take the sigh of defeat if you are Drake's, as merely he looks unstoppable, and with these two other teammates, it's gonna be really hard to get 3 goals here in the last 50 seconds.
Yeah, I agree. Rockerman's defense has been on point. Merely popping off offensively in this game is just the dagger in the side of the Drakes here. And though they mathematically can still bring things back here, it's highly unlikely that Ascension is going to allow that to happen, as they have just not been able to finish any of these games so far. And they're looking now at getting swept out of the playoffs by Ascension. Rockerman with the ball sends it out to the mid. Ascension just looking to kill time at this point. I'm sure they won't even mind if the Drakes were to score a goal, as it wouldn't amount to very much. Rockerman with the big clear, trying to find Jaegers. Jaegers is up for it, but can't find the angle he needs to get the ball in, as it only needs to drop for Ascension to officially win and be your victors here in Season 7 Challenger League playoffs. But they are keeping it up and apparently going to leave the match. Merely going to get one for the road. He gets the carry. He gets one for the road. A little bit of a show off there from Merely. Can't blame him. He was peaking this game. I'd be showing off if I was feeling myself as well, Puggles.
Yes, merely he's gonna get the last one and get 4 goals for the series or for the game. Why not? And Ascension, they're gonna move on, and they are going to play the winner of Venom and Raptors coming up later today. So definitely keeping an eye out on that matchup if you are a challenger player. So yeah, that's a huge win here from Ascension as they sweep Drakes out of the playoffs, like you said.
Huge win from Ascension. Indeed. And we have, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Big Murr from Ascension. Congratulations, Big Murr, on that fantastic sweep.
Thank you very much. It felt good to get a dub coming back from Worlds.
It looked good too, I gotta say. I was told not to bring this up, but I know Rockerman came down with the COVID. Most people know that he's got the COVID, but he still looked good out there, I gotta say. Were you worried, Merely? I haven't talked to him. I don't know if how bad his symptoms are, but were you worried at all about how the way he's feeling? Maybe he wasn't going to be up to perform tonight.
Well, I'll be perfectly honest. The odds as far as that were kind of stacked against us, because Other than spending 5 days at Worlds, coming back a little bit rusty, obviously, yeah, Rockerman did come down with the vid. It hit him pretty hard. He said he's feeling a little bit better today, but he still has a lot of symptoms. He can't really calm effectively. And also, Jaeger seems to have come down with something, so he was feeling a little sick as well. I don't know if that one's the COVID. And he also had to speed home from work. He got home from work about 5 minutes before we had to play. So we didn't really get to warm up. So we were a little bit nervous going into it at the beginning, especially since we knew that the Drakes were kind of popping off during play-ins. But once we got our footing, we got the confidence. It felt like we had the series the whole way.
Yeah, it looked really good too. As the game one, you guys came out swinging, both offenses going crazy. So my question for you is, going into game two, did you guys change anything? Like maybe have a little more defensive look, because that's what I saw from game two. Is a lot more defense was being played.
Yeah, I think our strategy didn't really change too much. I think they adapted and kind of forced us to play a little bit more defensively. They were going for a lot more demos and stuff that was messing up our rotation. But our main game plan the whole time was, we knew that we had the edge in speed. So we were just kind of trying to keep putting on shots, keep up the pressure, and hopefully we wouldn't have to play defense.
Yeah.
And so moving forward, now that you have won that match, you will be looking to, I believe, I'm just trying to pull up the
It's
bracket real
Venom
quick.
versus Raptors.
Venom
It's our
versus
next game
right.
actually.
Well, yeah, which is our next game. So how do you feel about that one, Merely? Out of those two teams, let me just get a caster prediction from you real quick, Merely. You're the big dog caster anyway. So Venom Raptors, who takes that one home?
The favorites are definitely the Raptors. I know Cotney is a very mechanical player, as well as Ibonic. They have some really solid mechanics, very fast team, and if they get the edge early, I think they'll probably just run away with it. But I wouldn't sleep on Venom too hard, because Grav is a really good player, also has really solid mechanics, and he's a player I know the most about on Venom, but I think if they're playing well, they could definitely take it. I do have the Raptors winning that one. They've looked solid all season. I don't really expect them to falter here, but I think if they're a little bit too overconfident, Venom could steal it away from them.
That may be true. Venom looking for the three-peat, Merely. And I don't know if they're looking as good as they looked last season, but they're definitely looking good. Looking like they can possibly do that, but I don't know. Ascension sweeping the Drakes right there, man. Again, congratulations on that. Not only, like you said, being a little bit rusty, everybody being a little bit under the weather, and just popping off, man. You looked great in game number 4.
Thank you. Yeah, I felt like the rust was completely worn off there. Tried to go for a few mechanical plays, and they worked out. It was nice.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and it was fantastic for me to watch and cast, and I'm sure Puggles enjoyed it. I know everybody at home enjoyed it, and we appreciate you, Big Mur, joining us up here in the booth for a little interview. I think that's about all we got for you, though, my man.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Have yourself a good night, man. Get some rest, and take it easy. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's pretty much going to do us for our first match of the night here. Puggles, I want to thank you for joining me up here in the booth. It's always a pleasure to get down with the get down.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun, especially watching this series unfold, and hopefully, if the Challenger series have gone so far in this first round, we might get another sweep here. But I'm hoping that we don't do that. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. We want the content. Challenger League usually pretty good about bringing it. Even Ascension Drakes, that was pretty good content. It was a sweep, but the Drakes did play well. They just couldn't bring it home. But when we come back for our break, we'll be seeing the number 4 Venom go against the number 5 Raptors, as we've already talked a little bit about. So stick around for that. You don't want to miss it.